so many Christian leaders, authors, thinkers, pastors, etc., have now adopted a fundamentally Marxist or Marxian, or whatever you want to call it, framework for how they view justice in society, for how they view loving their neighbor, how they view what the Bible calls, justice and mercy. And perhaps there wasn't a more blatantly in your face example of that than the He Gets Us campaign from not February, not last month, or when's the Super Bowl? Into January or February?
February, yeah.
Yeah, but from the year prior. Now, this recent one had some problems too, but you kind of went viral. I thought your article really took off a year ago responding to this. And I think it's important. It's a vignette, just like Tim Keller is a vignette and a stand-in for the leftward drift of evangelicalism and the shifting of the Overton window. The He Gets Us campaign, the $100 million thing or something like that, it's just a window into how influential Marxism has become on Christians. I mean, this thing was funded by Green family money, right? That's Hobby Lobby, guys. That's Green family money. Ed Stetzer, the idiot over at Talbot Theological Seminary, who should be a plumber and under church discipline, is the dean of Talbot and the boss of apparently professors who are no longer willing to say what needs to be said anymore at Biola. And Stetzer was a paid advisor. He admitted this on the Thinking Biblically Biola podcast. He said, I was an advisor on the He Gets Us campaign. I helped with that marketing campaign from a year ago.
Fundamentally, I think it's important to understand that trying to solve that problem is going to get you in a lot of trouble, because ultimately you're going to be trying to get people to like Christians better. And when you're trying to get to like Christians better, you're actually going against what Jesus said, because he said to his disciples, if the world hates you, know that it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love you as its own. So if we're trying to get people to like us more, we're going down the wrong path. And so what you see in execution and practice with these ads that you're talking about is that they're very much presented in a way that's palatable to culture. It becomes this social justice Jesus. They're using the exact same terminology that the culture is using. And that's not it's not a cutesy marketing thing. And a lot of people said, well, sometimes you have to talk to people in a way that they're going to understand. My professional background is in marketing. So I totally have sympathy when people talk about, hey, you have to, reach people where they are in a certain sense. But if you're going to reach people with a Jesus that they already believe in and not challenge their understanding, they have no reason to go deeper, to learn more about who Jesus actually is. And so when you're looking at the website and you see something that says Jesus was inclusive, I think this is a perfect example of how misguided this is. Yes, that is how culture talks about how important it is to be inclusive, but to them, inclusivity means that you're inviting everyone to continue to be whoever they want to be, to continue to do whatever they want to do. Right. Jesus was inclusive in a totally different sense. He was inclusive in inviting everyone to come with him, but he was not inclusive in saying everything you want to do, everything you want to say, and whoever you want to be is okay. The problem is when you use the word inclusive, you're misleading people into thinking that he was inclusive in the sense that they think. And so you have all this progressive laden language in the ads, and you see those in last year's ad and this year's ad. You see all these references to how culture sees the social binary in terms of this is an oppressor group. This is a person representing that. And here's a person representing the oppressed. And when you have that, then you're just reinforcing the idea that this is really what society is about. This is the structure of reality. So I could talk about the He Gets Us stuff for a long time, but I think that kind of summarizes the problem with it, that when you're trying to solve the wrong problem, you're trying to get people to like Jesus in a different way because they're turned off by his followers, you're going down the wrong road. And when you use the language to show them, hey, he's just like you already think he is, that's not helping anyone.
But Natasha, Ed Stetzer, the dean of Talbot, he said it's just pre-evangelism.
Well, pre-evangelism is this idea
I don't
that there are
remember that from the
certain.
New Testament, but can you help us?
Well, I think, just to give him the benefit of the doubt and, saying, okay, this is what he considers it to be, pre-evangelism. He's trying to say, okay, well, maybe there are these ways that before you're getting to the gospel, before you're telling people about who Jesus is in the fullness, maybe we need to kind of warm them up to the idea of Jesus. Maybe we need to get them interested first. So I think that is a fair idea, but let me tell you why I think that the execution of he gets us is not effective pre-evangelism. So like I said, my background is in marketing, and oftentimes there's this framework used in marketing called the AIDA model, meaning if you want to get someone to make a decision to purchase something, so in the context of buying a car, for example, they're going to go through these stages: awareness, interest, desire, and action.
Yeah.
So awareness, interest, desire, and action. I think, again, to be charitable, that what Stetzer is saying is that pre-evangelism is kind of like the awareness level and the interest level in the campaign. It's saying, hey, let's get people aware of Jesus and that he was somebody that they should become interested in. Then let's get them interested in him by using some of this language that they're already interested in. Let's use some of these ideas. They're interested in justice and fairness. Let's pull them in with that. And then maybe once they dig deeper, they'll get to the desire and the action stage to reach out and learn more. That's what I'm sure he means. But I still feel that this is really misguided because, as any marketer knows, when you start with awareness and interest, you have to generate awareness in the right end product.
Right.
You have to generate interest in the right end product. And I hate to use Jesus as a product, but we're talking about marketing here, right? So if you want to get people to actually do something, to follow up, to make a decision, to learn more about Jesus, to follow up with the church, whatever your action point is going to be, you have to generate the right kind of awareness, the right kind of interest. Otherwise, it's like generating awareness, interest in a motorcycle, and you're hoping to get somebody interested in buying a Tesla at some point, right? You're in two different marketing funnels completely. So none of this, though, surprises me that this is how they would approach it because, and I've documented this in my lengthy articles on my websites about He Gets Us, that there are all kinds of examples from their sites where they make clear there are all kinds of people with different beliefs on their team. And they have progressive Christians and they have conservative Christians. It really strikes me that the progressive Christians are doing all the front end work. They're putting the ads together and they're doing the articles on the website, which are very problematic. And then if you really dig into the site, then you can find some statements about how, we believe that Jesus is the Son of God. It's almost like that's just there to keep the conservative Christians happy so they can point to it when people question the progressive stuff and say, no, look, this is what we actually mean. Now, I don't know if that's fair or not. I'm saying that's how it seems to me. I would not be surprised if that's the case.